Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. It is Manchester United versus Club America. It is our first pre-season game of the season and I'm very excited to have you all with us. The team news is in, it's going along the bottom of the screen as everybody can see there for you as well. It's a very strong team from Manchester United, if I'm honest with you. It means that we're either going to play more than a half each, or it means we're going to go very inexperienced in the second half. Now, I've literally just got up about 5 minutes ago, so I'm not 100% sure about who or where the opposition are going to play and how they're going to play. So if anybody knows what the team news is for Club America, please do let us know. But from a Manchester United point of view, you've got Grant in goal, Valencia, Smalling and Bailly, and Luke Shaw, which is a very strong back four. Danny Dobson straight away with a contribution. Thank you for that. He says, what a starting 11, right? Midfield three of Herrera, McTominay and Pereira, which is the strongest midfield three we have at the moment. And then up front, you've got Martial with Mata one side of him and Dimitri Mitchell the other side. And the really, Dimitri Mitchell's more of a left back for me, but he used to be a forward, so that's not necessarily a problem with that. But the second half team will have to be the likes of Twansibi, Roshan Williams, Fosu Mensah, Joel Pereira maybe in goal, Fosu Mensah, Gomez, Greenwood, Hamilton. You know, the youth really, they've not mixed it over both games here, so we're going for both. Very uninspiring back four, says Samuel R. Well, it's a very experienced back four, and Tyler Cole says he's been up since 6 a.m. and Cheese Bella is here for the kit, and I'm liking the new layout, says Kevin Lopez. Yes, well, hopefully you do like the new layout, because we put a little bit of work into it. As you can see, you've got your upcoming fixtures in the bottom corner, the latest news on the bottom, there's team news, the score and everything below me, latest news on my left, and a little bit of a football pitch where we can just do things like draw pictures and stuff like that. But effectively, it should be a 4-3-3 for Manchester United. I'm going to have to go when it kicks off because MUTV is on my phone, says Curtis15. Really, really nice layout. Thank you very much. Damn, I'm tired, says Harry Stafford. Watching from Houston, says Ken Ahoria. And 1,500 people watching at 2:30 in the morning shows this channel's size, says Aaron O'Brien. It also shows, more importantly, I think what it shows is the love for Manchester United and the massive support that we have worldwide. So that's absolutely fantastic. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. When does the game start, says Joshua Duncan. We're about 25 minutes away from kick-out. When will the match start? Yeah, 25 minutes. Lots of people liking the nice... Jay, I'm going to tell you a funny story here. This happened to me 3 years ago. We did the American tour, and a lot of the games were kicking off at this time, and I nearly made the same mistake. I set my alarm half an hour before I needed to, and I thought, I might just have another half an hour, and then I was like, I'm not going to have another half an hour. I'll just lie here and wait, and I nearly dropped off, and the alarm safety net would have been gone, so I would have been catching Z's. But yes, we've got Elliot Baker who's in Birmingham. We're going to do all that in a minute, but first of all I just want to say that with regards to the team news, which is what's the most important thing at the moment, with regards to the team news, I think that's quite a strong team. Mourinho's made a few comments. The back four today, Shaw will probably be the back four that we start the season with, said Mourinho. I must admit, I'm getting very frustrated with Jose and all this crap about this is the back four we start the season with. This is the front line I start the season with. It's pathetic. To be honest with you, it's bloody pathetic. We're not the only team playing in the World Cup. We're not the only team with players in the World Cup. And John Stones, as I keep saying, is going to play in the Community Shield a week before we play Leicester. And he played in the final day, bar one, of the World Cup. So it's really silly how Mourinho is reacting to this. Also, it could be an indication of we're not going to make any signings. So let's see what happens with that anyway. I'm just having a quick look around trying to see if we can grasp who's playing for Club America. We're also hearing that, well, I'll come to that in a moment actually. It's a very experienced Manchester United team. Let's have a look. Oh, God. Why am I getting stuff like that? Let me see if... America. Club America. Why do they not just put their team news out like any normal person would? Really frustrating that is. Let's have a look. Club America. Tell you what, folks, I'm going to give up on that. I don't know what their starting 11 is. I thought we could grasp that. I'm sure we'll grab it at some point. It will flash up on the screen. But from Manchester United's point of view, it's a very experienced team. And as they were trying to say, is I think Andres Pereira is probably going to play there with McTominay and Herrera ahead of him, which gives Pereira this role here to patrol along the back three. Now, it's interesting about Andres Pereira. I think he's the most important player on the pitch this first half from a development point of view, because Andres Pereira, Manchester United played probably their first game under Jose Mourinho just shy of 2 years ago, and it was against Wigan, and Andres Pereira came on in the second half and played in that position against Wigan, and he played very, very well in it. So I'm interested to see how he does in that game, in this game, sorry. So I'm really interested to see what he's going to do. I think he's a player that can offer us something next season. I think unlike some of the other kids who obviously haven't been given a chance, I think Andres Pereira can give us something in that midfield position. So I'm very excited to see him. And as I keep saying as well, this tour, for all those people who have got up to watch this game, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight here as well. I'm really excited about this tour. Now, Jose Mourinho can play it down as much as he wants, but there's a harsh reality here. Club America have had a number of pre-season games, so their fitness levels are going to be better than us, and they're going to be working a lot better than us anyway. The weekend game on Sunday, who knows what's going to happen with that? I can't say. But then you get into the real stuff. You've got AC Milan, you've got Liverpool, and you've got Real Madrid. Now the Liverpool game is going to be really good because obviously you've got that rivalry, but regardless of it being a pre-season game, Liverpool will play the way Liverpool play. They will play the high press and they'll move the ball quickly. Also, Liverpool have already played about 3 pre-season games, so their fitness levels are going to be better. So it's really good for us from that point of view. Can we see the match here, says Lewis. No, this is not a match watching stream. This is a watch along on the United Stand. If you're new, fair enough, you don't know that, but we have been doing this for 3 years now, so we're not streaming the game. We're a watch along, we're a fan channel, and it's for everybody to get involved with and join the chat. So please do share the link below, share it on Twitter and Facebook. If you are new, please do subscribe, the little button in the bottom right hand corner, and get involved. We're live every single night at 8 o'clock, transfer daily at 7 AM, loads to get involved with. Miss my super chat, mate, says Luke Johnston, best fan channel. I don't miss super chats on purpose. It's probably because it was just on another screen. Jake Killer says he chooses sleep. Probably about half an hour, Jake. Half an hour ago, I probably would have agreed with you on that point. But now I'm up for it, and looking forward to it very, very much so. The second half team's going to be... I don't think he's going to do a 45-minute team. Sebastian United says, hi, Mark. Tired, but bloody looking forward to it. Jupp said, 9-7 says, put Lindelof in for Smalling. That is our back 4. And Luke Johnston, we got... would love to see Twansibi get a start, but plenty of opportunity for him. Loving the streams as always, Mark. MUFC till I die. And there you go, Luke. Thank you very much for the contributions that we've had so far. Make sure you remind me if you do one and it skips by, because it's very easy for me to go back and have a look at them. But if you want to make a super chat, it's the $ underneath the live comments if it's available in your country. Simeon Hayward says, I'm just up at this time for the United Stand. True United fan. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, Well, you know what, I love doing the US tour watch-alongs because we've always done them, and we've always, you know, as I've said, so I don't want to milk this, but so many of you guys and girls get up at ridiculous times in the morning to watch Manchester United play, that it's, you know, it's only fair that we do it. And I'd want to do it anyway. And they're just showing on MUTV at the moment the highlights of Manchester United playing Club America in 2015, so 3 years ago, which was the first tour we covered because the United stand had only been running a little while. And I vaguely remember this game that Schneiderlin played, but I think he actually scored as well. But they're a decent team, Club America, and they will give us a good game. Hey, mate. Hope it will be a good game, says Ryan Garcia. Watching from San Francisco. Mark, going to this match Sunday. We'll be there. Will there be fan cams, says Jesse. So, it doesn't look like we're going to have fan cams because, unfortunately, Flex is on holiday in Brazil. And he was going to try and do a couple of games. And there's a chance that, well, to be honest with you, it's probably not going to happen because we both spoke about it and we're like, you know, if you're going to do a tour, you want to do the whole lot. So, but if you want to send us little clips in from your phone, you're more than welcome to do that. Opinions on the lineup, says Remzi. I don't really have much of a problem with the lineup. It's a very experienced lineup, and I think what Jose's doing is he doesn't want to get battered. He wants to put in a good performance, and also he wants to get fitness time into the legs of the more experienced players, which is fine. The lineup's going across the bottom of the screen there, Thomas. It's Grant, Valencia, Smalling, Bailly, and Shaw. Herrera, McTominay, Pereira, Mitchell, Martial and Mata. So hopefully we'll see some good build-up play from United. That's what we want to see. A little bit of fluidity. And also, nobody's mentioned this point yet. A very important point here is, how are we going to play? What's the formation going to be? Are we going to see any difference in the way we play football? Have the coaching staff had time to implement anything already? Snid PK says hello. Mark, this is United and Jose's year. And David Trainer says, this is my first pre-season on the United stand, and the game just make you forget transfer ways for a while. Yes, that is the good thing. I tell you what, I went to sleep a little bit early last night. I don't normally go to bed till about midnight. I actually tried to get some shut-eye at about 10:30 last night, and I was just checking Twitter before I went, and all it was Alisson signing for Liverpool, and I was just like, I'm glad I'm going to sleep, and I'm so glad I'm getting up to watch a Manchester United game because I just can't be doing with them anymore. Yo Mama says Manchester United are playing a 4-3-3 and Club America play a 4-2-3-1. Does anybody, I don't want to wander off the live comments here, but without wandering off the live comments, does anybody know? Let me just have a quick look. Actually, I might be able to just show off a couple of things here while I do it, because we've now got the phone that we can bring in here as well, which is something, a feature I really like. So let's have a look if we can get any lineups on here. No, I think it's just because it's a friendly game. They're not showing. They're not doing the lineups, which is a little bit annoying. No, I'm not getting a lineup on that. So do that. Ryan Curry says it's his third pre-season with the United stand. I tell you what we'll do it now then. We've got a few people watching. Get in the live comments and let me know where you're watching from. We've had another live super chat here from Hannibal Wolf. He says, I love the United stand. Come on, Manchester United. Thanks for the contribution, pal. Where will you be watching the match, says Jack J14. From my normal setup here. And Club America's 11 here is March, Paul, Edson, Aguilero, Reyes, Gildo, Caruna, Renato, Abidjan, and Henry and Roger. And Daniel Scott says that it actually looks like Mitchell may be playing as a striker with Martial, Mata in behind, and Pereira as a DM. Very interesting. Yeah, we'll grasp that as soon as it happens. Usman's in Texas. Of course, the other good thing about doing a stream at this time is it's more a sociable time for a lot of you worldwide fans who are probably watching the streams that we do at 8 o'clock UK time. Normally, you don't get to watch it live, so you're getting a bit of live interaction here, which is great because there'll be. I'll tell you what, I know quite a few Manchester United fans, I love Manchester United. I love them. I absolutely love them. But I'm not getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch them. There's quite a few not watching. They're catching their Z's as well, which is fine. But here we are. This is what we do. Harry Dunlop's made a contribution. Respect, Mark. Much love from Northern Ireland. Well, respect to everybody. You know, we've built a great community on the United Stand, and I'm really glad to be doing these. I really, really enjoy doing it, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of. Well, you know what? In the grand scheme of things, what does it matter? I mean, we've seen over the years. I've seen Manchester United under Van Gaal wipe the floor with Barcelona on the American tour. I think that was 3 years ago. We didn't go on and win the league, but if you love your club, pre-season friendlies, whatever, you're interested in it, aren't you? And the US tour is something a little bit different, and it's part of the summer experience for me. It's getting up at silly o'clock to watch Manchester United play. You know, when you've had a few months of not seeing United play is a good. Christopher Wright, the lineup is out because it's going on the bottom of the screen there, as you can see. A little bit of a new setup here that you might need to get yourself used to. We'll go through that in a minute. To my left here. You've got the transfers in and out, which I wanted to cover anyway, and a little bit of the latest Manchester United news underneath there as well. Alexis Sanchez is flying out as we speak to America, which is good, and Valencia are pursuing a loan move, a season-long loan move for Fosu Mensah, which I think is a little bit disappointing, but we'll touch on that. Howard's watching from Sacramento, California. Sebastian United's watching from Yorkshire. Let's get 1,000 likes while we're live, says Dren. Yes, I forgot about that. We normally try and get 1,000 likes before kickoff, so please do drop a like on the video if you haven't done that already, and subscribe if you're new in the bottom left-hand corner. Get involved with the biggest independent Manchester United fan channel, the place where you are part of the discussion. We've got live comments. Matt B. Norris says he loves the new layout. Yeah, if you've got any feedback on the layout, please let us know, but we're very, very happy with it. This side here that's got the transfers in it is a little bit sparse at the moment, but as the season develops, you'll see a lot more information coming up on there as well. The one thing I would say is that I think it's just about right. It allows the eyes to wander, but not too much. You don't want loads of stuff flashing about. Australia and it's lunchtime, says Christopher White. Kieran Bradley's in Kentucky, in America. And Kingston, Jamaica, says Christopher Wright. Mad Marcus is here. He says like, share, subscribe, please. Thanks, Mad Marcus. He's going to be joining me for some of the watch-alongs as well. I'm too tired for this, says Kieran Byrne. You've got to fight through that first 20 minutes of waking up, Kieran. That's the hardest part. Do you have to pay to watch on MUTV, says Ben Linsky. I do. I pay for MUTV throughout the year. I mean, do I watch a lot of it? Probably not, but I watch, you know, like the youth and things like that. So, and the press conferences are good. I don't know how it works worldwide, to be honest. Why is there a pitch on the screen? Would be better without it, says Chris A. Because, look, that could be just dead space there, but actually what that does is, I like interacting with you. It allows me to, what I wanted is a space where I can bring the phone in. So on the old layout, it used to come in over things, whereas now we've got a clear space where we can use the phone, which on the watch-alongs, we're going to use a lot more. But if you take the phone down, otherwise, if you don't have the pitch, it's a bit of a dead space. And we're also going to use that space more and more as well. But for the moment, it's a pitch. Buzzing for the women's football to start, says Danny Dobson, MUFC. Thank you, Danny. Can't wait to see Pereira, says Mr. D7. Exactly, that's what I feel like. Lynn Hall says, nearly fell asleep, but I'm awake now. Good, good. Score prediction, says Harry Dunlop. Very hard, Harry, to predict a score prediction in this, because Club America are a decent side, but I don't know loads about them, and you never know with Manchester United. Does Andres Pereira get a chance this season? Do you think he will go on loan again, says Glenn 1985 Wallace? I mean, I've taken a note because I am going to do a match reaction straight after this game. And Andres Pereira, for me, is one of those players that I really, really, really do want to see given a chance at Manchester United, because I think he's good enough. I think he's had 2 loans which have been successful in the sense that he's got He's been at Valencia and where was he at before? I always say Getafe, but it wasn't Getafe. Where was he on loan at? Andres Pereira. My mind's gone blank. This is the problem. But he's ready. He's ready. Peter B says we need to see Chong. Hopefully in the second half. That's going to be the exciting part. Luke Johnston's made a contribution. He says, loving the new kit. Shame about the inflated price though. Great to see this channel grow so much. Thanks for streaming at this time, Mark. Well, you know, I knew there'd be a lot of people up watching the game, and we do all the watch-alongs throughout the season. We do daily content, so make sure you subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner, and join the Manchester United community. You're all very, very welcome. Double of A24 is loving the new setup. And what do you think United's next signing will be, says Declan Plays. Well, I've heard, as if you watched the show last night, I've heard that Manchester United are going to make 2 signings, which is really interesting. I don't know who they're going to be, because I know what they're going after, but I don't know who they're going to definitely be. We'll have to wait and see. Go. Get that going. So we are currently about 8 minutes away from kickoff. It was Granada. A lot of people saying Granada. Thanks for that. Adam Cannon. I'm choosing to ignore that we're linked to Bas Dost because he's crap. And the giveaway will be at some point during the stream BHD G112. Off to watch the game back at half time, says Devil's Ace. And who did I hear it from? Says, yeah, I love giving up information. I love people who tell me things in confidence, and I love to then go live and tell it about 20,000 people that. So no, I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you is that this ground doesn't look particularly sold out, does it? But to be honest with you, I think that there's so many teams. I mean, we've got a few Americans actually in the live comments. Let me know. I'm just about to predict something here, but I think the AC Milan Manchester United game was in a bigger ground and they've downsized it. And I think my feeling is that the reason this gets down, the reason they don't get these games sold out anymore is because it's not such a novelty, is it? I mean, this is the second summer in a row that Manchester United have come on the American tour. You've got Juventus coming, Real Madrid, Liverpool. There's so many teams coming over now that I suppose that's it. That might be the reason. Vishal Orian has made a contribution. He says, I'm watching from India. It's 7:30 a.m. and I love Manchester United, says Lionel Ramirez. Pitch looks amazing, Chris says Christoph. Can't wait to see the new kit in action, says Aaron O'Brien. And yeah, I mean, that's something I'd totally forgotten. I mean, tell you what I can't wait to happen, and I always say this during the normal season, so I'll say it to you all now. What I can't wait to see happen is how we're going to line up and how quick we're going to move the ball. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to do that next season as well, but I am excited to see that because I think that these are the things that as you build towards a new season, you do become a little bit more aware of. So I'm hoping that we're going to see that Manchester United moving the ball around a little bit quicker, because one thing I would say about the Club America team is that they're Mexican and they tend to have as we saw in the World Cup with Mexico, they tend to have an emphasis on possession. So I would hope that we can have an emphasis on possession as well, because it's important to see Manchester United moving the ball around and doing that consistently well. Just as a little bit of a tour guide, so to my right you've got a little pitch there which I will use for little bits of tactical things throughout the game, but also that's where the phone's going to appear. In the bottom right hand corner you've got the upcoming fixtures, the next 3. So we've got San Jose Earthquakes on Sunday night, I think it's 10 PM UK time. Then we've got AC Milan on the 26th of July, which is 4:05 in the morning. It's even earlier than this one, or later than this one. And then on the 28th of July, we're playing Liverpool, which is a Saturday night UK time, and I think that's a 10 o'clock kickoff. So that's the next 3. We've also got Real Madrid to play the following Tuesday morning at 1 o'clock as well. Then Bayern Munich, then it's Leicester. Underneath me, you've got the score, 0-0 at the moment. The timer's underneath 0-0. I'll kick that off as soon as it goes. We'll put the scorers underneath as well. And then to my left, you've just got the latest transfer news, which I did want to just allude to for the moment, because as you can see, we've bought Diego Dalot for 19.2. We've bought Fred for 53, which takes us up roughly to around 80 million, and then Grant takes us up to around 85 million. But we sold Sam Johnson, which brings us down to 80 million, and we've sold Daley Blinn for 15, which takes us down to about 65 million. So if we get rid of Darmian as well, which we're going to for 15 million, our net spend will be 50 million, which I believe leaves us with another 100 million, which, as somebody was saying on the Skype call in last night, maybe with 100 million left, that could be a left back and a centre back, or it could just be Gareth Bale, couldn't it? Okay. When will the game start, says Greg. The players are coming out now, so we'll be kicking off very, very soon. Tom Bria says Warrington Reds. MUTV is the only place to watch the match legally, says JT Molly. Yes, so if you haven't got MUTV, we'll certainly keep you updated with what's going on. But watch-alongs on this channel, basically, we can't show you the game, that's illegal. What we do is we go live before the game, we discuss the team news, we interact as a fan community, and then throughout the game we'll be updating you with what's going on. There will be a match reaction straight after as well. Salim says the teams are coming out, which they are, and away kit release date says Three Thumbs King. Not too sure, but Flex was at an Adidas event in the week, and I mean, I think we all knew anyway, but it's been very much confirmed that we are playing in pink next season. Please do drop a like on the video. I'll tell you what's really nice about doing this stream tonight, is that when we normally do the streams of the game, the watch-alongs, in England for like a 4 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday, you get about 500 dislikes and 1,000 likes, because you get a load of people who think that we are going to stream the game, so they get really disappointed that we're not. But we've not had that much tonight, which means people are starting to become the hardcore United Stand viewers and who understand what it's all about. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Great to have you all here. And I've just seen something. This is a concern. Let me have a look. Nearly out of battery, folks. That would be a disaster. Anyway, the new kit's out. Also, Luke Shaw's an interesting player to keep an eye on, isn't he? But new kit's out, as you can see. I'm wearing it, and so is the team wearing it, which is good. I don't normally wear kits, to be honest. I've only been wearing it to sort of show off the fact that we're giving some giveaways away. And it's quite warm in the UK, so I can't get away with me tracky. But how are we doing? There we go. So Alvarez is playing for Club America at number 4. He played in the World Cup for Mexico. So it's a strong team from them, which is good to see. They're not a bad team at all, and they will give us a good game. So looking forward to it. Herrera is very important. Who's wearing the captain's armband, actually? I hadn't even checked that, so naughty me. Here we go. Anyway, we've got nearly 3,500 people watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. And I've got Jared just about to join me as well. What else was I going to say? And share the video. Let's see if we can get up to 4,000 people watching. Jared, how you doing, pal?
How you doing, Mark?
Good, thanks. I'm over my initial tiredness, but don't want any sympathy with that, because I know so many people around the world get up at this time just to watch normal Manchester United games. So, how are you feeling about this game tonight? I presume it's tonight where you are?
I'm excited to see the team. You know, I think it's exciting with everything going on just to see them back playing.
Yes. I think especially in relation to the latest Manchester United team news around transfers, it's really, really exciting to see, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think, you touched on a couple very good topics. Like, Pereira is really interesting to see what happens on this tour. And I think there's people that, because, people have been looking at it like, well, so many players are not on the tour, it's not a real team. I think it gives an opportunity for people who would never, ever be able to play to come through the ranks. And if we can get 1 or 2 of these people coming and being superstars, who knows? maybe we start to see him in the first team.
Well, we've kicked off anyway, and we can have a little bit of a look at what the team's going to be straight away. There was some talk that maybe Anthony Martial would be playing on the left-hand side here. He's not. He's playing more central. Mitchell's playing there. Amata obviously there. I'm just trying to grasp the... Yes, Pereira is playing as the anchor man, as a midfield there, with Herrera there and McTominay there. So that's the midfield three, with Pereira in this role. Mitchell's here and Martial's up front. So there you go. There's your first grasp of the team. Interesting to see Andres Pereira playing in a defense. I mean, it's just, you know what, actually, it's quite funny this. I'm a big fan of Andres Pereira, but it sort of epitomises Jose in a way. I don't know what people at home think, because he's not a defensive midfielder. He can play there and he can play it quite well. But when you look at where he's been playing for Valencia and Granada, he's been playing more of as an advanced attacking midfielder. Every time Jose picks him, he plays him as a CDM. So these jokes that if we signed Bale, he'd be playing left back, I can see why people say it, Jared.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like Mourinho has a tendency to test people out of position to see if they're uncomfortable and how they can play while uncomfortable. But I haven't seen it work yet. So, Pereira is a great attacking midfielder. He's unbelievable at that position. I don't know why he needs to be defensive. We've already seen these people, when they're taken out of position, doing worse and regressing. And I find that Pereira has so much potential. Don't you want to see him in his preferred position? But I'm not Mourinho, so...
little bit of United on the attack here with Mitchell. I like Mitchell. I prefer him as a left-back, but I do like him. Nice by Martial into Mata. Somebody was just saying there, is this grass they play on here, or is it 4G? I don't suppose you'd know.
I don't know actually if it's 4G. I mean, to be honest, it looks that, but I can check. Hold on.
Ahmed says, what time does the game start? If you look beneath me, it says 0-0. If you look beneath that, that's the timer. We're currently 2 minutes into this game, and United have started off quite well, knocking the ball around, which is good. But Club America tried to play football as well, so... look, you know what? We're only 2 minutes in, but this has probably been more entertaining than Manchester United's last 3 months of the season, because we're playing a team that wants to move the ball around quickly, and they're primed, very much primed for the start of their new season. So United will, there is an exciting element to this because of it's not the status quo, is it? I actually wouldn't. I'm quite glad that the World Cup's happened and we're not seeing Lukaku, Pogba, Jones, Young, and the same set of players, Jared, because, to be honest, it needed something this summer, and I think it's great to have the football back and the pre-season back, but with the lack of transfers, at least there is some exciting element that we're getting to see some of the youngsters, some of the fringe players. Yeah. And just quickly, Juan Aragon says, feels good to watch a game in the afternoon for once. You see, you get it different, which is good as well. Thanks for the contribution. But yeah, we need some positivity.
Yeah, I mean, I hope this gives some positivity to people. I mean, again, it's tough. It's tough. I think, you don't want to be negative, so you sit there and you say it's exciting to see them back on the field playing, exciting to see Martial starting. And you just look for positives, I think. But, it's exciting to see the youngsters.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to see some of them in the second half. I mean, the reality is, if you look at the squad, this is the strongest 11 he could have gone with today. I did my team prediction yesterday, and I might have it. Let me just have a quick look if I've got the screen up still that I can show people. It might work. Oh yeah, it will do. So we can go back to that. United at the moment just under a little bit of pressure, but okay. So yeah, that was my team prediction. As people can see, I had Joel Pereira in goal, Fosu Mensah, Bailly, Mitchell, Dalot, Herrera, McTominay, Pereira. I got the midfield right. Martial I got right. Gomez, Chong. But that lineup, as you can see there, was more of a mixed, because I thought he'd mix it up, but he's not. He's gone with the very experienced starting team. If he wants to change that team entirely in the second half, I don't know whether there's been a chat with the Club America manager or not, but it will be a very inexperienced Manchester United side in the second half, because we don't have any real experience on the bench. You've got Twan Sebi, Fosu Mensah, Roshan Williams, Ethan Hamilton, Garner, Gomez, Chong, Greenwood. It's really is the youth. So some of these Manchester United players, I would imagine, will probably have to play.
We'll get on.
We'll play in the second half as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think like someone like Hamilton. I know Mourinho probably. He's got to be.
What a tackle that is by Alvarez. Who, funnily enough, if anyone watched the watch-alongs in the World Cup, I was very impressed with Alvarez for Mexico. He was their centre-back. So, you know, that's what I mean. The quality of Club America here. They've got players who were playing in the World Cup for Mexico. So, good tackle there. Otherwise, Martial was going to be in. But Pereira's doing well, holding up the midfield.
Red Jedi said that it's on a moving turf. So, it is real turf, though. And yeah, it's, in America, it's also MUTV. I have been looking for it on the on Real TV, and it's not. I can't find it.
Remember, subscribe if you're new to the United Stand, bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome. Something I did notice about the new kit, and I've only really seen Pereira so far close up, but the black Adidas bits seem to be very shiny on the lads playing, which is almost like it's a plastic print on, but it's definitely not on the kit I've got. It's sewn, so I don't know why it's shiny. I have to keep a closer eye on that.
It's interesting. Well, maybe again, I know they don't have a different kit, but there's sometimes like an even more expensive type of kit that they offer.
Yeah,
like an actual like game not used kit, but I forgot the exact name, like authentic kits versus like a replica, and it's interesting, like a couple $100. So maybe they did something to the kit. Who knows? I know the third kit's pretty cool that we have. It's also Juventus's third kit, so you will be able to see Ronaldo in our jersey to some degree.
I mean, my first observation is that we are... they've definitely... I've just seen Pereira again, and his Adidas is shiny. And this isn't shiny, so this is really weird.
Interesting.
But Active Dan's just made the point I was going to say. Active Dan said, why are we playing Pereira so deep? I don't necessarily have a problem with Pereira playing so deep, but what I was going to say is that you've got McTominay and you've got Herrera, who are... Yeah, they are. They've got shiny Adidas bits. This is authentic. It's from the Manchester United bloody website.
No, but I'm saying they have like not an upgraded version, but like an actual kit version that the players wear, and then there's always like the normal version that we buy.
Yeah.
And you have to actually buy it direct from Adidas and pay, I think it's like $50, $60 more for the kit. It makes no sense. It's the same thing. But I do see what you're saying, whereas like it almost looks plastic.
Yes, like anyway, going back to what I was saying, Herrera and McTominay are playing as the more advanced midfielders, whereas Pereira's playing as the CDM. But I just think Pereira's clearly got the creativity that Herrera and McTominay haven't got, which is weird from Jose. Here we go. Martial. Oh, I think he wanted a penalty there. Playing up front, Martial. Got a smile on his face. I mean, that's one thing. I'm a big fan of Anthony Martial, but I don't think as a number 9. I much prefer him off the wing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Turner United. Why do Americans get more television rights than Europeans? It's Mark's explained this. There's a law, but Americans, most of it's bought by NBC Sports, and then we can buy access to every game for like $50. So it's interesting the way that they do it here versus the way that they do it in Europe.
The Ghost of Park Ji-sung, which I love that name, by the way. He says you can buy the player edition too. So there's a player edition shirt. Yeah, to be honest with you, that probably makes quite a lot of sense. And I prefer the stitched on than the shiny one anyway. I've got to be honest with you. But it's yeah, it's not just America, it's the UK and everything. It's Europe, Australia, India. You do get better TV rights than we get because we can't watch the 3 o'clock kickoffs, which is a real pain in the backside. Red Jedi thinks that Martial is a number 9. He's never
I
going to be
agree with that.
Mourinho number 9, though, is he?
Nope, but I actually, and that's probably one of my biggest fears with him is if he does move, I think he'll be played as a striker, and I think he'll be unbelievable. And I think that, you know, other people have played other positions before they found their perfect one. And I think he's meant to be a striker. I'd take him as a backup striker for Lukaku and then start on the left to replace Sanchez and give him a break.
Carl Watkins says, welcome to Rip Off Britain. That's probably about right. It's probably going to get a lot worse with Brexit as well. But no, let's not go political. Bailey almost punched that dude's face, says Christoph. I mean, yeah, Bailey's another player to keep your eye on as well. Interesting comments about Mourinho, Jared, and everybody else who didn't hear it, that Mourinho was lumped Bailly into the same category as Andres Pereira and Luke Shaw by saying, you know, it could be a big tour for them, which... I was talking about transfers on the 8 o'clock show last night because I'd heard that we could get 3 signings, but hopefully 2 in the next 3 weeks. But one of the other things I was told, which I suppose is common sense that people won't like, is that unless Bailly and Lindelof do something amazing over the next few weeks, Mourinho's preferred centre-back pairing will still be what he played in the FA Cup final, which is Jones and Smalling. So, you know, everyone's going on about left-backs and other areas of the pitch, but... The reality is, as of this moment, Phil Jones and Smalling are still the first choice centre backs. Now, whether that can change because we signed somebody or not, a lot of people over the World Cup saying Lindelof and Bailly should be the centre backs, but Bailly's just done a decent job there. I don't know whether, and it's a goal kick.
You know, it's also funny though because you could think Mourinho's just putting pressure on the board, saying like, if you don't buy me the centre back I want, you watch. I'll stick with these 2 the whole year, and then I'll blame you guys when you fire me.
We must also draw attention to the fact that we've got over 1,000 likes as well, which is fantastic because didn't even really push it that much. So thanks everybody who's dropped a like. And if you are new, make sure you subscribe. This is the United Stand, Manchester United fan channel. We're live every day at 8 o'clock UK time and 7 a.m. with the transfer show. Although tomorrow I'm going to do that live at midday because that's, you know, it's too close to the aftermatch of this to do that. So Mitchell's just coming down the left-hand side here. Into Mata, to Mitchell, lay off. Herrera. Good shot by Martial. Nice little bit of interchange from United, but over the bar there.
So my app is in... You wonder if you pay for the app, why it functions so differently. Like, it seems that we're delayed by like 30, 40 seconds in the States. That's okay.
See, I thought we'd be delayed because the game is in America. Tyler Rooney says Martial needs to go. What? Just because he's put a shot over the bar?
You know what? It's funny. You see a game like this and you see Martial play and you immediately remember why you like him so much. Not that he hasn't done anything, just that he's playing. Like that's it. Just seeing him in the jersey, playing, smiling. You want to see more of it.
Louis Garcia says he's a big fan of both clubs. You know what? That's been the nice thing building up to this game is that you don't really appreciate all the time. I mean, I know when we're live on the United Stand, we've got a very big fan base around the world, but so many people have commented and sent me messages saying that these are my 2 favourite teams, Manchester United and Club America, and that's, you know, obviously we get a few people who are watching from Mexico, I would have thought, or maybe not, I don't know. I don't know loads about the Mexican League. Obviously that's where Hernandez came from, and sort of heard about Irving Lozano from, and I really like Mexico as a team in the world. You know, let's be honest, every 4 years. But I
was talking to someone who is Mexican, and you remember their old coach, that crazy person. I forgot his name, but he reminded me of like a Klopp, like very animated on the sidelines. He doesn't have the job anymore, but he was one of my favorite coaches I've ever seen. Not because he was amazing, just because he was unbelievably fun to watch. So if any Mexicans are in the chat or remember who I'm talking about, let me know his name again.
Oh, Mata hits the post. Good play there by Mata. I thought he'd held it up a little bit too much, but had it in the box. Good play down that left-hand side from Mitchell and Shaw. So much pace. And also, this is what I'm on about. This is why we should be signing Alexandro, because what we've seen from Shaw and Mitchell is that left foot ability, that ability on the left foot, the natural left foot, and it's giving United natural balance. It's not rocket science, it really isn't. It's a nice little interchange play from Manchester United as well. Dimitri Mitchell just shooting wide, but he's probably been the standout player this half. Played fantastically well.
That was a nice shot by Mount. Yeah, I mean, I think the left side is weak, and I think Sandro would be perfect to fix it.
So I'm just tweeting out whilst also streaming as well, just updating people.
To be honest, I do not like Mourinho's shirt at all. I think that's ridiculous. Extremely bright. I think it's better.
I mean, one of the things I wanted to bring in, Turning United says that Martial should have stretched for that. I think it'd be ridiculously naive to expect all these players to be starting the season. Not even, obviously, a lot of them won't start the season, but I mean, actually still at the club at the start of the season. I still think that Martial is a question mark whether he'll be here next season. Luke Shaw, I think it's looking more and more like Luke Shaw will stay, which could mean no Sandro.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to kind of think.
To see if Darmian comes out in the second half, actually.
I would have to assume just as an audition. But you would really... I mean, I've been shocked by what the board's done so far, but I don't see how the board recovers from selling Martial unless you bring in an absolute bona fide superstar. I really don't. I think people are already on edge. You can't sell the fan favorite of the team for nothing. Like, you can't just swap Willian and Martial. That's not happening. There is no channel, Island Boy. It's on MUTV. So if you don't have it, I think there's a 30-day free trial, to be honest, or it's $4.99. So just get it or stay with us. And every game on the ICC will be on MUTV.
I mean, I was just thinking there as well about that natural left-hand side with Shaw and Mitchell. But we don't actually have natural left-sided players. We would normally have Ashley Young there, who's a right footer, and Martial or Sanchez or Rashford, who are right footers. And then in this game, we've got Mitchell and Shaw, who are both giving you that. I mean, let's use the pitch. They're giving you that natural left side. They're going to just do. That's what they're going to do. They're going to be touchline players down the left-hand side, and also you've got that ability to whip in the natural cross, which is when you're right-footed players like Ashley Young, he's always coming in. He's always coming in. He's always coming in, and so is Sanchez, and that's that's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people tend to play out of position in Mourinho's team, and I think it's a detriment to us. It's not just the left side. I think that there's people who are constantly put out of position. Even someone like a Fellaini, who should be playing up front, plays in the midfield.
Jeff Doherty says if the choice is Jose or Martial, it's got to be Jose out. United do have a 1-year extension option on Martial next summer, so they can keep him for another year. We don't have that with Luke Shaw and Mata and Herrera anymore. We've already signed their 1 year, so they can go for free in the summer. So United, I mean, we talk about transfers, Jared, but United still actually have quite a lot of people who are... contract-wise in an issue, but Club America coming forward here. Are you going to any of the games yourself, Jared, actually? I meant to ask that.
No, I tend to come over to the UK to see him, so I'm not really a humongous fan of the tour here.
What's the closest one you've got to you? Is there one in New York?
No. Oh, right. Man City and Liverpool play here. And then...
watch that.
Yeah. And then Juventus play, but Ronaldo's not coming, so no. Not really interested. I think the cool game to see will be the MLS All-Stars versus Juventus. That's going to be a cool game.
Yeah, it's a shame United never get to play the MLS All-Stars.
It's, what's funny, though? Every time a team plays against the MLS All-Stars, one player on that team seems to get injured. Because for the MLS All-Stars, it's like the Stoke City Cup final. And for the team playing them, it's preseason. So they go in with hard tackles, and I've seen people get hurt in those games.
Talking about hard tackles, Club America played a friendly on Sunday, and one of their better players got their jaw broken. So they're no slouches themselves. But United have. To be honest with you, I've been pleasantly surprised with United because Club America have played a lot of pre-season games already, and United have only been. I think we've only been back in pre-season about a week and a half. Yeah, I think we started the last week, didn't we? Some of them. So their movement on the ball is good, and passing is very good as well. So that's good to see.
Yeah.
I mean, like you say, it's pre-season. I remember Manchester United 3 years ago coming here and playing Barcelona off the pitch under Van Gaal, and everyone was oh wow. In fact, it might have been 4 years ago. It might have been 4 years ago. And
if I'm not mistaken, last year didn't we beat City here?
Yeah, Lukaku scored, didn't he, with that ball over the top that we never played again.
Yeah.
Yep. And stretching their defence.
We saw how that went. So I think,
you can't read too much into the results, can you? But it's
right.
There are things you can read into.
Yeah, I think Mourinho made a point that these are 3 games, win lose, as long as people are getting the right practice and getting ready for the season, it's great.
That's not good from Martial there. He's got an overlap to Valencia and he ignores it to shoot from 35 yards. And it's those sort of decisions from Martial that are not going to endure him to Jose Mourinho. It's a good shot and I think he forces a corner from it. But you've got to play the percentages there and you've got to use the right-handed side player. Pereira's on the corner here, which is another thing, another strings to Pereira's bow. He can take corners as well.
I like Pereira. I think he'd be a good asset for us.
I certainly am all for Pereira playing well because if he plays well and then he's got rid of, it's another bad indictment on Mourinho, isn't it?
5 times TV. I was interested in what you were saying up until that last comment. Team hasn't won anything in 30 years. Goodbye. Oh.
Club America on the attack here. So we've had 20 minutes and shoots wide. But it's good workout. I mean, San Jose Earthquakes. What do you know about them? I know you're not a big fan of MLS, but
it's you talk about a pub league. That's where people who go from pub leagues go to retire. And I mean, again, the good thing is these are organized teams, similar to like some of the lower nations in the World Cup. Very organized, very defensive. They tend not to play overly attacking football when they play us, and they're organized because they've been playing the whole season. I think it's a good matchup, if that makes sense. I think AC Milan will be a great game. I think I'm most excited for that one.
Yes, because AC... I was saying that before you joined up with us, actually, is that Jose can say what he likes about this tour, but the Liverpool game, Liverpool actually will have a lot of their new signings anyway. Off the top of my head, I can't think of many Liverpool players that won't be involved apart from their Brazilians, because Mane and Salah should be there because they got knocked out in the group stage. And also Liverpool will play the way they play, won't they? They'll play pressing football and they'll play the same formation, so that'll be a challenge. Real Madrid, I don't think Real Madrid will be much of a challenge, because the thing about when we play Real Madrid and Barcelona that people tend to miss, but I always highlight, is their season doesn't start till 2 or 3 weeks after ours. So whenever we play Real Madrid and Barcelona on the US tour, we normally beat them because their fitness levels to ours are way less. But Milan should be quite good because, again, Italy weren't in the World Cup, so you'd imagine they'll have most of their good squad with it.
Yeah, I mean, and Milan, they just got a new owner. They're going to be exciting this year, I think.
Are they still going to be subject to financial fair play, or have they got over that?
They were appealing it. I think the ruling was coming out today or tomorrow. But, for them, the people taking them over are very well funded, and I could see them making some. Yeah, I could see them making some big signings. They're not going to keep the team; they'll sell it again. But Milan are in a good space. I mean, granted, missing Europe isn't good, but they were a year or two away in the rebuild anyway. I think they spent too quickly. So.
Yeah, Italian football, if they can get their finances right, some of these clubs could be really good. We look at what Juventus are doing. Inter Milan have got serious money as well. If AC Milan sort themselves out.
Yeah, I mean, the Italian league's going to be. It was probably the most exciting league last year. I don't think it's going to be far off this year. I think there's a lot of teams who are going to compete, and even though Ronaldo's there, I think people are sleeping on teams like Inter. People are teams like Napoli, Inter, Milan. It should be interesting. I think Ranieri is actually coaching in Italy. Or
Ancelotti's at Napoli as well.
Yeah. Maybe coaching at Nice. I got Nantes.
Michael Hawke saying he doesn't like the new kit. We should try Puma next. To be honest, Michael, it's not really about that, is it? Puma will never pay us the money Adidas do. So, and we're all about the money. Well, I'm not, but we know our owners are. Christoph says that Pereira's trying to impress Mourinho with defence and possession. Smart boy.
I hope it works. I got a question. If you could have one player come out of this tour, who would it be? Who you'd want to start on the team, and you actually think could make a big difference next season?
I think we just spoke about it there. I think it would be Pereira for me because here we go. Club America, good save by Grants, and they're starting to turn it up a little bit now, which is good. We want to be tested defensively. Funnily enough, it was down that left-hand side. Don't know how much blame you'd put that on Luke Shaw, to be honest, but let's see what people in the live comments say. But yeah, no, I mean, let us know in the live comments who you think. But for me, I think the one player out of this 11 that I would love to come through next season and be involved heavily is Pereira, for a number of reasons, really. But it was Luke Shaw's fault. No, it wasn't. It was McTominay. Sorry. It was McTominay who lost him. Because we do need some quality in the midfield, and I don't necessarily think we're going to sign another midfielder. So if he can play defensively and offensively, I think he's ready. So yeah, I'd like to see Pereira get involved. Don't know what your thoughts are, Jared.
Yeah,
Paul Gibson says Lee Grant.
Yeah, God help us. I don't disagree on Pereira. I really, really would love to see Gomez. He was electric when he came on last time, and we never got to see him again. I just think he's unbelievable. I think he's ridiculously talented, and I think he brings some flair. So I know Mourinho doesn't love flair players, but he could be exciting. And he plays on the other side of things, which is nice for us. He plays on the right, so it helps.
See, I don't think Gomez or Chong will be anywhere near the first team next season. Just because of Mourinho, I just don't think he's that sort of a manager. But and I don't necessarily think Pereira will be. But you know, what more can you do? You go on loan to Granada, you play all season, you're one of the best players in La Liga. You then go to Valencia, and it was a mixed bag at Valencia, but it wasn't like Fosu Mensah at Palace. He actually had a good season for Valencia. They had they had a very good season, and he found it hard to get in the team at times. But he was always playing at least 20 minutes, half an hour off the bench if he wasn't starting. So, you know, he's got to be given that opportunity. It's this year or never for Pereira. And hopefully he can get some game time.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've seen it before. We've seen it again. It's all going to be based on how Mourinho feels about the player. So if he holds a personal grudge for Pereira for going on loan, he won't be here and he won't play. And if he doesn't and he gives him a shot, I think he could be awesome.
Mayong says, I guess the game is quite boring. No, not really. I mean, it's very interesting from the point that I think there'll be a lot more excitement in the second half when the kids come on. But United started off quite well, but it's the second half, the last few minutes, Club America, who are a good team, started to take control a little bit. I mean, I don't want to be overly picky, but
nope.
I don't get McTominay. I still don't get it, to be honest.
No, but he's tall, so he fits Mourinho's build. Kwame,
And
I
Herrera's
love.
not having a good game either, to be honest. I've got to be honest about that. I don't get what's gone wrong with Herrera. And again, it's a tour game, so you can't be critical of it. But what you can be critical of is the balance of that midfield. And what I would say is that Herrera's trying to move the ball around very, very quickly. And he's taking the ball off the back four and he's moving it. But Herrera and McTominay just don't have the mobility in the midfield, which we've seen time and time again. So it hits them and it slows down.
Yeah, we have a slow midfield. It's a consistent problem. Hopefully, Fred helps that.
We could have Fred, Pereira and Pogba. We'll have some of that. Of course, that won't happen because we're always going to play Matic. But
Yeah. Here's an interesting comment from Kwame. I love Gomez and Chong too, but Pereira is far more versatile, experienced, and useful for a title race. Kwame, I have to be very honest. We're not going to be in a title race, but I love your optimism.
people said England wouldn't do well in the World Cup.
Well, you know what? I hope football is coming home kind of gets adopted for us this year because we're going to need it. Right?
Wilf says Mo Salah will be Pereira's greatest chance in getting a chance at United this year. I don't get it. Why?
No.
Let us know. I'm interested by that. Why does Salah have an impact on Pereira? Nathan Gardiner, have you heard about Lewandowski? Well, I spoke about Lewandowski on the United Transfer Daily yesterday morning. I think it's a load of nonsense, to be honest. But
yeah, I can't see that happening.
Zayed
Mark,
says, what favourite kits?
I was just reading that.
I do like Adidas, to be honest, Jared. I don't know about you. Valencia's
100%. 100. I think Adidas, by far, has been making the best football attire as a whole. Jerseys, hats, everything. I think that they've done a very good job.
The problem
this year
with kits is that they change them every year. When I was growing up, they used to be changed every 2 years. So this kit that we've got now, we'd have for 2 years. And they'd change the away kit one summer, and then they'd change the home kit the next. Now, everybody changes their whole kit every year. I mean, I've got T-shirts and jumpers that I like that I will keep for 3 or 4 years. And yet your football kit, they change 3 kits every 12 months. Now, we know why. It's because of money. But the problem with that is if you're a kit, you know, your away kits, you can get creative. And we've had some... I really liked the black kit last year. And that's such a shame that after 1 year, that's gone. But when it comes to your home kit, there's only so many things you can do with a red kit. So you're going to get some years where it's good, some years where it's bad. But you can't... There's only so much you can do.
Right. Well, you also got to remember the amount of money Adidas are paying us to produce our kits. They can't have a kit that people don't need to buy. So every year, the away color scheme will be different so that last year we're buying black clothing, then we're buying gray clothing, then we're buying pink clothing.
Yeah.
And it fits each year that you can develop an entire clothing line based off the jersey color. It's all money. Imagine if Ronaldo went and they were only redeveloping the away jersey.
Good save, Grants. People will be calling him the best, the GOAT now.
He is. He's going to be the future of United, a future coach.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, it's not like we look great, but it is the first game, the first time we're actually seeing them play competitive football. So there will be time to worry. It's not yet.
Yeah, you know what? All we're going to do over the next few weeks, next couple of weeks, watching these pre-season games, especially on the US tour, is we're just going to be watching, and you know, it's more about individual performances. You know, when the season kicks off, it's about the team, and you forget your dislike for someone like Fellaini, because if he comes on and gets a goal and we win 1-0, the 3 points are more important than anything. It's the team that matters. But in the pre-season, you're looking at individual things, like you're looking at Anthony Martial and you're thinking, what's his body language like? You're looking at some of the fringe players and thinking, have they got any hope of being involved next season? And what I always think about the pre-season tour is that you've almost got to be playing 8 out of 10 or higher if you're one of those fringe players or young players to have any chance, because Pereira actually played well on the US tour. It would have been the year before. Yeah, it was Van Gaal's last summer, so it would have been not 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Pereira played really well on the US tour under Van Gaal, and didn't really get involved in the team that much afterwards. So even playing well on the tour doesn't necessarily mean anything. But
No.
yeah, an okay performance isn't good enough if you're one of the sort of development players. I don't think it really matters too much if you put in an okay performance if you're Juan Mata or Herrera, because Jose knows what you're all about. You're a senior pro. But if you're one of the development players like a Mitchell or a Pereira, then you've got to be putting in top performances, really. And Mitchell's done okay, but he's gone quiet the last few minutes. But apparently Derby County are interested in him.
Someone made a comment to me, actually, and I think it's very accurate. On the preseason tour, you can't really help yourself if you're someone Mourinho likes, but you can absolutely hurt yourself if Mourinho doesn't love you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very difficult to improve your standing. It's very easy to hurt it.
I would agree with that.
I've heard that too, Skyline Blue, that the Adidas president's a United fan. Funny enough.
Well, at least the Adidas president is, because our chief executive isn't.
Yeah, well,
And our owners aren't.
maybe they can swap jobs.
Yeah, Mitchell is 21, David Trainer. You're right. And that's a very good question from Bassett Khaled. What happened to Cameron Borthwick-Jackson and James Wilson? It's one of those weird things.
Exactly what happened to Mark. They disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just standing up and stretching. I don't want people to see me in my pyjama bottoms, but it's true. I mean, this just happens with some players. They're not fancied. Mourinho doesn't. I often get asked about James Wilson. Mourinho just doesn't rate James Wilson, to be honest. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people who should be above those two. So
yeah, I wouldn't take them. I can't defend it, to be honest. I wouldn't. They're not. You know, they're also young. You know, I can't moan at Mourinho for that, to be honest.
No, and you know what? When we're trying to get people like Martial in the starting lineup, I could give I don't really care about James Wilson. So yeah.
At Sheffield United, he did okay, but he's not going to make it at United. I just ultimately don't think he's good enough.
No.
Corner for Club America here.
I like seeing Lee Grant give Valencia directions. Does he even understand him? Does Valencia speak like fluid English, or is it not fluid?
No, it's
I've
all
heard
fluid,
two
no.
things on this. I've always wondered how he's the captain.
I mean, I'm just tweeting something out here, which I'll share with everybody. Basically saying that Pereira's having a good game, which he is, and he's running the midfield, but he's too deep, and he's feeding McTominay and Herrera, who just don't have the creativity. So the typical Manchester United problem, and I don't want to talk about typical problems on a pre-season game. There's no point, but it is the same thing where we've got slow ball from the midfield. By the time it's getting to Martial and Mata and Mitchell, it's too slow. So Pereira's doing a good job in the midfield, but Herrera and McTominay, they're just not creative midfielders.
No.
You'd be better off having a Gomez in there because he can play centrally. I know we haven't got Pogba, have we? We haven't got. I mean, that's going to be good to see next week when Fred comes. Hopefully, if he's fit. I mean, we've already heard that Delot or however they pronounce it, he's on the tour, but he can't play till September, so we're not going to get to see him. So it'd be nice to see Fred getting involved, because that midfield again. I know it's only pre-season, but we saw it all last season as well. It's talk about whoever you bloody want to sign, but if the midfield's not creating things, it makes it very, very difficult. Good play by Bay there. Very good play by Bay. Wins the throne. Brad Gamster says, I love Andreas Pereira. Me too.
Yeah. I mean, the dangerous part, too, about these tours is then you start getting attached to people who then you don't see for another 9 months.
Yes, well, Angel Gomez played about 20 minutes last season, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. It was a fun 20 minutes to watch, though.
Thing is, though, if he doesn't use Andres Pereira this season, there's no point. I agreed with Pereira last summer where he said, I want to go to Valencia, because I think he realised he wasn't going to get much game time. And yeah, he didn't start every game for Valencia, but he played probably more times than he would have done for United. And there won't be a shortage of players looking at Andres Pereira if United aren't going to use him. There will be teams saying we'll play him every week. Part of me thinks that in relation to Pereira, how much is Jose Mourinho seriously going to use him? Is he going to play more than 5 games a season? I don't think he will. So if there was a Premier League club, maybe a Bournemouth or someone like that, who said we'll take him on loan and we'll play him for 30 games in the midfield, that's better for him anyway.
I mean, he can slot into a lot of teams.
He's so good on the ball. He's so two-footed and, you know, one-touch passing. You can see why there's a lot of Spanish teams who want him. I mean, I'm not saying he's better than Matic, but he's better than Matic on the eye because he moves the ball quick.
Yeah, I mean, the speed of the midfield leaves something to be desired. It has for a while. Now, I mean, what do you think of this rumor with Pogba?
Which room is this? This is Tancredi Palmieri's one.
This Barcelona rumor seems to be picking up a little bit of steam.
I hadn't
that
heard
they're
this
working
one.
on it. They're working on a deal and big player, and I don't know. Rayola's made some comments. I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, I'm doing the Transfer Daily live tomorrow at about midday UK time, so I'll probably speak about that one. But it's funny because I said that during the World Cup. Obviously, the World Cup was a bit of a quiet time for United, and I was doing a lot of stuff on That's Football, which is our general channel. And I did say around the quarter-final point, if Pogba gets to the final and wins the World Cup, I wouldn't be surprised if Barcelona started sniffing around. And if United ever want to get rid of Pogba, they'll never get a better opportunity to get anywhere near what they paid for him than doing it straight after him winning a World Cup. So, I mean, I don't know, Jared, would you let him go?
Yes.
See, I really think that would be impossible and ridiculous.
All right, so here's the question.
To let a player go twice, it'd just be stupid, I think.
I'm not disagreeing, but let's say this. If you sold Pogba and you got Bale, Sandro, and Milinkovic-Savic, then what's your opinion?
You know what? If you'd said this to me 3 months ago, I probably would have gone, yeah, let's do it, because Pogba's not happy at United. But when having seen what Pogba can do, and I know it's not... I don't want to judge him on the World Cup, but he's playing in a completely different position. He's walking around a dressing room like he's bloody Roy Keane reincarnated. And I'm like, if you get that best out of Paul Pogba, and not how he's played in the World Cup, because that's nonsense. I don't agree with judging people on the World Cup. But what you can judge people on the World Cup by is, you know, tactically what they're doing, and also the way that they're using their mind and their leadership skills. I just think Pogba can't be allowed to leave Manchester United. I think it would be an absolute joke. Of course, what we don't know is whether he wants to leave Manchester United. If he wants to go. You know, I don't want to keep good players because they're good players. I want them to stay. I want them to stay because they want to stay. But I mean, Mike Greer says it's never going to happen. It's not FIFA, Jared. But I think you're a bit wrong there. I mean, anything can happen in football, and if there's a few over the bar from Martial free kick, but if Pogba wants to go and Barcelona offered the right money, I certainly think it would make Manchester United think about it. But I think they'd be stupid to do it, Jared, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why everyone seems to... I'm not saying we're going to get those 3 people. It was a question of if. People take things very literally.
Welcome to the world of football.
I know, right?
But
right.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Milinkovic-Savic would be as big a risk as Pogba was, coming from the same league. He's certainly not as mobile, so he'd make us a little bit slower in that midfield area. But then I'm just trying to think what other options there are. I mean, yeah, you know, everyone always says Tony Kroos, but I don't know. I'd be absolutely amazed if Paul Pogba was to leave anyway.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's highly unlikely. I just think that there's a major rift with Mourinho and Pogba.
Definitely.
So I really do think the board will eventually be given the choice of Pogba or Mourinho, and I do think the fans will all pick Pogba.
I mean, Mike R makes a very, very good point. He says Pogba needs to either commit fully or he can go. And that's something that has frustrated me with Pogba, is that he's, you know, we're hearing all this stuff. And straight after the Manchester derby, which was the day before the Manchester derby, obviously Pep said he'd been offered him in January by Mino Raiola. And I think he was, because I think Manchester United could sue him for that if he was wrong. You can't go around saying stuff like that. So I think that I presume that did happen, because you can't say things like that. So Pogba has a really good game, and he does the shush thing. He goes like that, shh, and everyone interprets a shush thing as meaning he wasn't offered to Man City. I don't think that's what that meant at all to me. It just meant that he's focusing on his game time. But I would like Paul Pogba to just come out and say, I'm a Manchester United player, I love Manchester United, and I'm staying at Manchester United. I mean, Anthony Martial has done that. His agent said he wants to leave basically because of Mourinho, but within that it was, I love Manchester United, I love the fans. So I would like to see some of that from Pogba, and I do agree with you. I think there's a big, big rift between him. But we'll come back to that in a moment, because it is actually half-time now. And it's still 0-0 at half-time, so let me just turn the timer off. Thoughts on that first half, everybody in the live comments. And Jared, what are your thoughts on that first half?
It was fine. Nice to see him playing again. Nothing to really talk about. Pereira, he was exciting to watch.
Yes, I mean, for me, I thought Mitchell and Shaw started off quite well in the first 10 minutes, but then faded. I think Martial's been quite isolated and a bit eager to please. He's had a couple of shots when he could have played other people in. Mata's been Juan Mata, and the midfield three for me is disjointed. Andres Pereira's been the standout player. Smalling, Valencia and Bay have done okay. Grant's made a couple of good saves, but to be honest with you, it is a pre-season game, and at times it's felt a little bit lazy from United. It's not lazy, it's just lack of match fitness. But Pereira certainly looked very mature in that position. And basically, if this is our defensive side, then what he's basically done is run around that midfield there and take the ball. But when he's trying to find the ball into here and here, into Herrera and McTominay, it's dying. We're not getting there. So I would like to see Pereira stepping forward into the position of Herrera and swap with Herrera. Put Herrera there who can do that job, and then you've got Pereira closer up the pitch to feed in the likes of Mata and Martial. So that's my criticism, is that I think that Pereira's playing way too deep to impact the game. And McTominay and Herrera and McTominay don't actually have the creativity or speed on the ball. It's the same problem we saw last season. Now we've got a lot of players out. I think Fred and Pogba would give us that. But Pereira definitely very impressive, but playing too deep for me. I mean, McTominay's not an advanced midfielder anyway, and Herrera certainly seems unable to do that now. So I think we need some creativity in that midfield, but we've been saying that for a long, long time. Rimzino says that Bay's playing good. Let's see the youngsters now, says Taj. Interesting to see what we'll do in the second half, actually, whether we will play the youngsters or not. But again, I suppose the issue, and I don't want to call it an issue, we're basically just summarising 45 minutes of pre-season football, Jared, but there's not much difference between Manchester United in that 45 minutes and the last 6 months of the season. It's okay, but there's no real purpose or conviction in the final, or speed in the final three to stretch the opposition.
No, there was very little interesting about the way that we played, which is consistent with how we've been playing. So let's just, again, hope that it's them getting back in the swing of things and we don't have our creative people versus this is the game plan.
Yeah, but remember we have got these coaching changes as well, which a lot of us are putting a lot of faith into Carrick and McKenna. But just because you've got new coaching staff, you've still got a manager who will decide how a team plays. And at the moment, we're playing pretty much the same formation that we played last season.
Yeah. But again, Fred isn't here. The new signings aren't here. People are away. It's all youth. I mean, it's not really... I don't know how easy it is to judge with this. I think it's just getting the legs back to the players.
Yes, definitely. Did the commentator just announce that Darmian is gone? Just said 3 of them are gone and Darmian well, reportedly. Says Daniel. Yeah, Darmian to Juventus is pretty much done. As Jared was saying in the first half, Jared's in America. That's where he lives. I meant to say Juventus are coming to America, and I would presume that's Darmian will just wait for them and that will be linked up. If Darmian does... I mean, Darmian... I'm going to do the giveaway in a minute, everyone who's on about that. But Darmian probably won't play in this game because it wouldn't be worth the risk, Jared. I mean, what if he came on and twisted his ankle? It won't be worth the risk, I presume.
If he came on and twisted his ankle, it would be just like the rest of this summer.
Phil Mitchell says he's tired. Phil, you've got to be hardcore. Think about all the worldwide fans who get up at 3 o'clock in the morning just to watch a league game. And they were doing it under Van Gaal and Mourinho. I mean, God, how do they stay awake? Jose's deleted with his tactics from Chelsea, says Darithia. The new kit looks great, says 01 AC 1994. Yeah, we had a bit of a meltdown in the first few minutes because I'm wearing the new kit from the Manchester United store. But this is a fabric Adidas, but the players are wearing a shiny material because it's a different kit. Same style, they just wear different technologies apparently. Pereira looks sharp, says Football with Jason. We lack cohesion, that's always been the issue, says Josh Saunders. I think you can forgive cohesion in the pre-season, but we are playing the same way as we did last season, let's be honest. What time is it in the UK? It's 10 to 4 in the morning. Pereira's good, Mitchell good, Bailly good, says Dion Wysiak 1. Mitchell started well, but then went very, very quiet. But I think he went very quiet because we weren't finding the ball in the final third. And Young, Young. God, I'm so used to him playing at left back. Luke Shaw at left back in the first 15 minutes was bombing on a lot, but that sort of stopped. I mean, consistency is a problem. It's 5 a.m. says Rasmus in Norway. Ella Ellis loves the new top. Why are people saying disgraceful, says Red Jet. I haven't read anybody say that. So, give us your thoughts on the first half. I mean, that's what we want to do. Take some of your comments and we'll interact with it. Bay better be our starting centre-back, says Don. I don't care if he has to be alone back there. I thought Martial was disappointed in that half. Jared, just very quickly.
Forgettable.
Peter B says, not sure Martial will be given the central role during the season. He's got no chance. Look. Even if we had bloody Ronaldo, it'd still be Lukaku up front. Mourinho loves Lukaku, but I don't actually think Martial's a number 9 anyway. I think he's much better off the left. But apparently he wants to play as a number 9. I can't defend Martial when he's playing as a number 9 because I wouldn't want him to play ahead of Lukaku. He's not got the physicality.
No. But again, I think he'd be a good complement to Lukaku, and if he went between certain positions, I think he could be great. I just don't know that he will ever have a position in the team in the upcoming season that's all his. I don't think he's gained the trust of Mourinho yet at all.
And that's the thing about Martial that confuses me, is that I don't see how he's going to be happy at Manchester United being a squad player when he wasn't happy with that last season. So I don't quite know how he's going to deal with that, or whether he will deal with that. But a lot of people saying he's been garbage. He's not actually had a lot of the ball, which is the problem with any number 9 in a Mourinho team at the moment of Manchester United. Neymar says McTominay's been ghosting. I said it in the first 20 minutes. I don't necessarily see what McTominay's going to offer Manchester United in the future. I don't see him. I just don't see it. I don't see him, other than every now and again he puts in a decent performance, but I just don't see... I don't think he's got the attributes to be a top 4 midfielder. I really don't. But Mourinho likes him. And as Jared said, he's tall. But it'd be very, very much unfair to judge anybody negatively unless they had an absolute shocker. Eric Torger says Mitchell needs to be subbed. Interesting. I thought a lot of people did okay. Thought he did okay. AM3 says Martial is a second striker. Let's not get carried away. It's pre-season.
Right. It's the first pre-season game, the first half of that game.
Yeah. Decision making poor from Martial, says Manan. Valencia's been awful. George Gill's probably about right. He says Martial needs to step up and show his talent that we as fans all know that he's got. It is an opportunity for him. He missed out on the World Cup. Would you be happy, says Bribby? I often wonder what that would do. Red Jedi says McTominay doesn't have anything that stands out. Hendo says McTominay's never a Manchester United player. He's dreadful. He'll go to Bournemouth for 20 million in a year or so. Mitchell was great. Why did you ignore my comments, says Derek. Mate, have you seen how many comments we have? If I read every single one, I'd still be here at midday. I can't do Martial's heat maps, Salim, because they're not doing heat maps for, as much as we love the US tour, most football apps that aren't going to spend time doing massive stats analysis of a US tour, unfortunately. So there's nobody doing that. We will do them for the games that are there. Lionel Grant says, what has Martial done wrong? He's just not had a lot of the ball. That's not his fault. We need to sell Herrera. All he does is pass backwards, says Ryan Bansai. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point about Herrera. I'm a massive fan of his, Jared, but he... last season, he just seemed to lose the ability to pass forward, and it's not changed.
Yeah, he did not have a great season, and I don't know what happened over that summer that caused it, but he does not seem to be, as you said, doesn't seem to be pushing forward. Doesn't really seem to be an exciting player to watch anymore.
No, not at all. We've got over 4,000 people watching, which is fantastic. Please do subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. I presume we've got quite a few new people watching because it's a funny time. It's 3 a.m. in the UK, so most of the UK will be sleeping. I know, I'm disgusted. I'm joking. Little bit, but I know a lot of Manchester United fans who are not watching this game. They're like, I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. And I just think that's the line for me. That's the difference, because yes, it's Mourinho. Yes, we've got a lot of players out, but this is part of being a United fan for me. I love the US tour. I wish Jose would smile, says LM Ellis. Some would say there's more chance of us winning the league. And will you do watch-alongs for Manchester United's women's team games, says Arta? No. And that's not being sexist, but I don't do watch-alongs for the youth setup either. So we have got something set up. Sophie's going to be getting involved with that. We are going to provide a weekly update at least of what the women's team are doing on the channel, because it is important. But and it's very exciting what's happening. But I'm not doing watch-alongs for the women's games. No. I probably won't watch many of the women's games. I watch my daughter play football, and that's about my limit when it comes to watching women's football. Which is, I've got nothing against, but I just don't. I don't watch. No.
That's quite all right.
No, but the thing is, you get people saying you're sexist, but I totally back it. I think it's well overdue that Manchester United had a women's team, but it doesn't mean I'm going to watch it. If they do well, I'll watch it. I know that makes me sound like a glory hunter, but if they got to a final or they were going to win the league, I'd probably watch it. But let's do the giveaway. Good points. Somebody keeps... I must admire... Look, I was always going to do the giveaway anyway. But I must admire people in the live comments who say, do the giveaway, do the giveaway. I don't know whether they think because if they keep shouting it, they've got a better chance of winning it. But you probably haven't, because there's so many people who entered it. Anyway, there is the United stand on Instagram. This was the correct post. Let me get that right. And what we need to do is go to there. And what I'm going to do is there's quite a lot of entries, so I'm just going to swing down to make it fair. And 3, 2, 1, bang. Sam Hartshorn has won it. There you go, Sam. congratulations. You've won our second kit. Don't know where he's from or anything like that, but congratulations to Sam_Hardsum. You are our winner. Follow him if you want on Instagram. He has won our second Manchester United home kit. So congratulations, and that's the draw concluded for that. And you can follow us on Instagram. We are the United Stand TV on Instagram. It's growing quite well actually, that is now. We've started to actually pay some attention to Instagram. So you can follow us on there, and we normally do our prizes and stuff on there as well. Congratulations to Sam. A lot of people in the live comments. Congratulations. And remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We're live on the United Stand every single day. We have a transfer show which normally goes up at 7 AM UK, but tomorrow it's going to be live at midday because obviously it's only a couple of hours away now, so we've got to do a match reaction. And we're live at 8 o'clock UK time every night with a sort of half an hour review. We take calls, we do Skype shows where you can call in, which we did last night, and we do it on a Monday. And obviously any breaking news for Manchester United, whether I'm out in the shops or anything, we're live within minutes. So get involved with the community, and as you can see, we've got the live comments and everything as well, so get involved. Doesn't look like there's going to be any substitutions for Manchester United at half time, Jared, so it's not going to be a complete change. Well, Fosu Mensah's coming on for definite, but that's the only one I can see so far, so not a complete change, which I think we sort of realised when he put such an experienced team out.
It's unfortunate, though. I was hoping for some substitutes, but maybe they'll come on middle of the half.
Yes. Well, that would just be typical Jose, wouldn't it? We expect to see some of these youth players playing, and then he doesn't use them. I seem to remember, actually, last season, Dimitri Mitchell played in the last game of the season against Crystal Palace and was very, very good. Went on tour and got no time on tour at all. So just because all these kids are there doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get time. They will do though, because we've got so many. But remember, we're going to do a match reaction straight after this game as well. Lee Grant's gone off for Pereira as well, and Valencia's off, which means Fosu Mensah will go to right back. I think Fosu Mensah will go on loan anyway. It looks like he's going to Valencia.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of surprising. I thought he could come in his own, but it's all right.
Carrick next to Mourinho. I mean, that's the best signing, actually, getting rid of Rui Faria.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But did he get rid of him?
Sorry, go on.
Did he get rid of him, or did he just leave?
Well, apparently he left of his own accord, but I mean, I've got nothing against Rui Faria, but I remember after that Sevilla game, and there was obviously a Sevilla reaction to it, and I think there's 4 or 5 things that I mentioned, and one of them was definitely that Mourinho has had the same coaching staff around him for too long, like over a decade, and football's changed. And whether Faria decided to go himself, well, he hasn't got a new job yet, has he? So that might be quite telling. Maybe he was pushed.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's been 20 years they were together. It seems like there has to be more to this story. It's nice to see Martial laughing with the ref.
So we're off second half. The timer is on. There we go. There we go. Tom31, how come no more walk to work videos? Love them, pal, says Tom. Because I don't really walk to work very often anymore, to be honest with you. That job was used to get the train in, and it'd be about a 25-minute walk to work along the canals and stuff. So I'd get off, I'd be on the train checking all the United news, and sometimes something would happen, and I just think I'll update people on the phone. But I do a different job now, so I don't get that nice canal walk.
Yeah, you're gonna have to just go walk the canals now and do videos.
Yeah, well, I do get to work from home a bit, which is good, but I do.
Same.
I have to drive to work, and despite some people doing these driving and filming, it is illegal, so I would never do it. You can't be driving and being on your phone, even though people think, oh, I'm hands-free. If you look at your phone, it's illegal. Anyway, yeah. Club America are on the attack here. Bade as well. Fosu Mensah slotted into the right back position, which I'm not convinced Fosu Mensah is a right back anyway.
Him and Pogba seem to be close. I don't know how close they are now, but they used to be quite close. Club America does move the ball well.
Mexicans, you see.
Yeah.
That's I mean, Mexico. I always call Mexico South America, and you know they're not, are they? They're classed as North America, but really it's Central America. But they're far closer to the South American style of football than the North American style of football. Really, I think if you dropped Mexico into into the South American World Cup qualifying groups, they'd hold their own, wouldn't they? Whereas I think USA would probably have a few problems.
Yeah, on our good year, like in 4 years, I think we'll be much better off. I think we needed a complete overhaul of the program, which this will do. And I think Pulisic is good enough to lead a team.
Looks like he'll stay at Dortmund anyway.
Until the end of the window, I don't know. I have a weird feeling about him. He's probably substantially more valuable because of the market that he brings to any team if he goes there, and Dortmund will take money.
Yeah.
So I do think that there's an offer coming for him. I do. I could see him going to Chelsea. Yeah, I could see him going to Chelsea because of the fact that they want Batshuayi or Morata or people from there. So I could see a move happening. Liverpool will have to be done in the transfer market, or I'm ready to jump.
Well,
so
they'll get Fekir, and that'll be it, I think.
I don't see that. I think they're going to tell Fekir to wait, and maybe they go after him in January. But I don't see how he spends more money.
Good start by Club America here. They possibly could have scored, but United are going to clear it with McTominay.
I've heard that too, that Pulisic is a United fan.
His family definitely are.
Yeah.
Oh, Mud Marcus is here.
What's up, Marcus? How we doing?
I know we've got Matthew and Mad Marcus. I'm not sure if we've got.
We got George.
George I've seen as well. Yeah. I think Snaps has made it. Thanks for the contribution, Tom. How come? Oh no, I'd already read that one actually. The live comments is not as quick as it is normally for a watch along. We've got a lot of people watching, but it's not as quick as it normally is. So I'll just.
Oh, nice play.
Here's Martial down the left hand side, which is where I like to see him. I think Club America have made a few more substitutions. We haven't changed the way that we're set up anyway. We're 4-3-3 and Pereira's still playing in that deeper position.
Hey, Brevy. You just looked long gone.
There's no support from the midfield either. McTominay and Herrera just stood there. They don't commit into the box. It's just a very rigid 4-3-3. It's good play by Shaw, and we've got a free kick here.
I really don't understand how the UK is so ahead of us on a US tour. It's like a joke.
I think I remember this happening last year, though. I think I do remember this happening last year, where we had people in the live comments saying, "How can you be ahead of me when we're in America?"
I think it's going to be better when it's ICC and not preseason games. So, like, starting with AC Milan, I think those games are on actual TV in the US.
Yeah.
So that is a little bit better.
This is just exclusive to MUTV, isn't it?
Right.
Dark Side Funk says opinion on Sandro in, Young out. Well, it's not going to happen. Ashley Young's not going anywhere. But
yeah, that's not happening.
I'd love our left backs to be Shaw and Sandro. That would be the dream. But unfortunately, it'll be Young and one of Shaw or Sandro.
Yeah. Again, I think that we won't know until the start of the season, right?
No. Gareth Southgate says that Liverpool have apparently spent 265 million since January. Seems like the Coutinho money just keeps getting bigger. Well, 150 million from Coutinho and then 150 million of their budget's probably about right. They probably do have about 300 million.
Yeah. Look, they spent very well.
Jinin says that United need to move the ball faster. It's the same old issue with Manchester United in this game, I would say, is that we are that it's hard to judge the front three when the midfield's not providing the ball quick enough to them. And the back four's been okay, but Club America in here. Smalling gets turned, good recovery tackle, and then Luke Shaw gets rid of it as well. It was a good recovery tackle by Smalling, actually.
I always thought Smalling got too much flack.
I never include Smalling in this. He needs to go. Phil Jones needs to go. It's a shocking pass that by Pereira.
Well, Phil Jones is great for the other team most time.
Pereira, 1-on-1, Club America. Steve Chow says, Mark, thoughts on us being in for Maguire? I'd like us to be in for Maguire, but I don't know that we necessarily are. I don't think we'll be in for Maguire. With 3 weeks left in the window, I don't think we're going to be in for Maguire. And also, I think it would take...
Less are notoriously difficult to deal with.
Yeah. I don't think you could get that deal done in 3 weeks. And they don't want to sell anyway, so...
No, unless they fell in love with Jones or Smalling. In that sense, you could get them. Because Leicester need a replacement before they even consider moving him. And if you're Leicester, why would you move Harry Maguire? He's like the hero of England right now.
Niall House says, get Angel Gomez on for McTominay.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see these things. I want to see certain people. I want to see Chong, Gomez. I'd like to see Ethan Hamilton. Why not?
I don't rate Hamilton. I think he's just another McTominay, which is why Mourinho likes him. He's just another tall player.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to see him play senior football just to see if that is the case, but...
Right, like maybe there's something that we're missing. I don't know.
No,
it's just this.
Physically, they're good players, but he just, that's what Mourinho values, isn't it? Pep Guardiola would want Gomez in his team because he wants somebody who can, keep hold of the ball. He's not too worried about physicality because he knows that referees will protect the smaller player if they're fouled and bullied. So he doesn't focus on that. But Mourinho likes the big bully player, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Nigel Massenge says, what's the formation? So, playing a 4-3-3. Pereira's playing at the base of the midfield here. So, let me just show you here. So, you've got Pereira there, Herrera and McTominay. Martial up front, Mata and Dimitri Mitchell. So, that's your front three. But the problem we've got is that we're just not... These two, Herrera and McTominay, just not getting the ball forward enough for the front three. And we're very static and slow in the midfield again.
It's kind of crazy. You would have thought that that they would have fixed this problem, or at least be moving quicker. It's unfortunate to see us play very, very similar to the way it ended last year.
Yeah, but it will take time, won't it? I suppose it will take time. We said that after Van Gaal, it's going to take time to get that mentality out of those players, and they've had 2 years of Mourinho.
Yeah, but we're not patient. We've been patient enough. Good question for those who don't know. Mark, how did you get into Manchester United?
From my granddad. My granddad supported them, and he was massively... the Busby Babes were like a massive passion of his, and it was nothing to do with the tragedy, although that was obviously hard for him to deal with, but it was more to do with the fact that United, with people like Duncan Edwards, was his idol really, and Bobby Charlton, all this great young talent coming into the club from around the country, and then doing something that hadn't really been done in England before. That, you know, there was this so many people supported Manchester United from that era, not because of the tragedy, but because of that actual team being so good and so young and so exciting. It was winning league titles, and it just captured the nation's imagination, really. So that's where it started for me. Then my mum obviously isn't the same age as my granddad. That'd be weird. So she was like the George Best era as a kid. She loved George Best, and yeah, so I just sort of that was the reason, really.
Grew into it.
Yeah, I grew into it. I must admit, much of my upbringing in the 80s wasn't watching United of the 80s. It was watching VHS videos of United from the 60s and the 50s. But so I was more ingrained in the history of United than I was in relation to how United were doing in the mid to late 80s. But because they didn't do that well. Then Sir Alex Ferguson came in and changed all that.
Yeah. Wouldn't have had a heat map back then.
No. Jinan says, I'm embarrassed for the fans who were at the game. They'll be enjoying it though, won't they?
Yeah, I don't think when they're going, I don't know that the fans are sitting there being like, I want to see us win 5-0. I think they want to just experience the game. Yeah. A lot of these people never get the chance to go to Old Trafford or see the team live, so for them it's the experience of being around United fans and being able to just drink and enjoy and have a good time.
Andrew's there. Andrew Southwick's there, who's one of the mods on United Stand. He's been on the Skype show a few times. He's there. He was messaging me saying, can I send some videos in? So hopefully we'll be able to put some of them up tomorrow as well. But yeah. No substitutions for United yet, which, to be honest,
it's annoying.
Yeah, I expected to have seen a lot more by now. A lot of people saying Chong in the live comments. Gerard Lusher says Gomez and Chong need to come on. That rhymes. I can't see if there's any movement.
No.
United fans CR7 says, I'm sick to death of Liverpool signings. Don't worry about them. What a goal. Good goal for Club America that was. I think Bay will be getting the criticism there. Good cross. Goal.
In the US, it's still not a goal yet. Well, it'll make for a good press conference.
Well, this is the problem. A lot of people like Eric Bailly, but it doesn't do him any good in his battle with Phil Jones and Smalling, because he's got that all wrong from that cross. He's got himself in a bad position, and it's 1-0. I need to change the score. But he took the goal well. The cross was good, but you know, we've not looked like scoring, have we?
No. We just don't look like we care to score either. We look like we're going through the motions of a game, and that's it.
Well, he said yesterday, here comes Chong. Chong's coming on.
Good.
Which should have a little bit of excitement, hopefully.
He'll be great.
I'm trying to think. Martial's gone off.
I'm fine with that.
Looks like he's had a knock.
You know what? I've never wished for someone to get hurt, but I'm completely okay if he gets hurt for a little bit, preferably 3 weeks.
Why?
Because then you can't sell him.
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean, yeah. So Mitchell's gone up front.
This is the first time Chong has played, right?
Oh, no, Mitchell's gone off for Chong. I don't think he has.
Well, Martial looks furious.
Oh, yeah,
so.
Yes. Greenwood's come on. No, Darmian's come on.
Oh, perfect.
I'm trying to figure out what we're doing now.
Musical chairs.
Yeah. Darmian's gone to left back. Luke Shaw's playing on the left wing. Mitchell's gone off.
Mitchell's gone off. Chong has gone on.
So Matt is probably playing a centre forward. Luke Shaw's just shot wide. But I don't mind that substitution of Chong. Chong's on.
No,
Half an hour.
Chong's in. We actually get to see him for extended time period too, which will be cool. That was a nice shot. It happened 35 seconds ago, but yeah, I mean, Darmian, I wouldn't look too deeply into it. I could see him just playing this to keep him fresh because who knows? Maybe they're about to sell him tomorrow and they were asked to play him for 30 minutes. Who knows?
Yeah, Darmian will leave. I'd be absolutely stunned if Darmian stayed at the club. Just look at the amount of games he played last season. It would be crazy for us to do that. So
is that true, Aaron Chen, that they're playing a false nine with Chong?
Yeah.
With Shaw up?
Mata.
That's
Mata's
interesting.
Playing as a false nine now.
It's interesting to see Shaw.
When you're losing 1-0 is a weird thing to do, but as Mourinho said, he doesn't care about winning.
Gotta love it.
Remember, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, there's a little icon, or you can just do it through underneath the screen. Subscribe, get involved. You're all very welcome, and if you are new, you've found a fantastic community. We were doing Skype show last night at 8 o'clock UK time, taking your calls. We do that every Monday and Thursday at the moment. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, doing every single United game as a watch along. So get involved. Slim pickings at the moment as to what you would take as a positive. I think Pereira's done well, but I'm just infuriated by why we're playing him so deep, because he's never going to play in that position anyway, because it's always going to be Matic, isn't it? So I'd rather see him playing as a more advanced player.
Yeah, but I assume Matic can play the same amount of games as he did last year. He died out halfway through the season. So I would assume that they need a backup for some of the lesser games. I'm curious who that will be.
United all over the place, says Mad Marcus. Where do I see the club in 5 years, says Alan Ellis. Wow, somebody asked me that 5 years ago and I got it wrong, so hard to say. I don't think Mourinho will be here in 5 years, no matter what. Same old football, says DJ Acid King. Please take McTominay off, says Minnie. Well, he loves him, doesn't he? Brevy's here, and he says, relax, it's just a pre-season game. Which I do agree with. Having said that, I think what people are more concerned about is, the style of football, innit? Oh, that ball by Chong was nearly good.
It's concerning, but it's not something to take seriously until it happens a few more times. If the whole preseason we play like this, you have a reason to be worried.
I think Martial did go off with a bit of a knock. Yeah, it wouldn't have made much sense to take him off and go to a false nine.
Lindelof is still on holiday, right?
Yes.
Kind of annoys me. Not like they made it very far. Made it far.
Yeah, they did get to the quarterfinals, though, didn't they? So yeah, De Gea should be back really. They didn't.
Right. Right.
He
I don't
wasn't
know. I
around
mean, if you're
before.
Lindelof, aren't you fighting for your spot this year? So wouldn't you want to be on the preseason tour?
Hmm.
Again. At United in 5 years will still be selling Darmian, Jones, Shaw, and Young.
66 minutes gone. One substitution in the second half so far. Well, Fosu Mensah came on. Darmian, sorry, has come on as well. And we've got Chong on. But the problem is, as soon as Chong came on, I thought, how much of the ball is he actually going to see? This is the problem that we always say about United, whether it's Lukaku, Sanchez, Martial, Lingard, whoever's playing in the front three, it's how much of the ball they're actually going to see. Now, if you play in a Liverpool team and you're Salah and Sane, you get in the ball loads. Or if you're playing for Man City and you're Sterling or Aguero or Sane, you're getting loads of the ball. But in a United front three, you might get the ball twice in 45 minutes.
It's tough to do anything if you don't have the ball.
And Marty's right, he's had one touch so far, Chong. He's been on about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to defend 90 minutes like this. But at least we got to see Lee Grant, who...
What a signing he's going to be. You know, people moaning about signings, and we've got a player like that.
What is he, 47 years old?
He shouldn't be counted as a signing. I know why we bought Lee Grant, by the way, because it's so we can loan out Joel Pereira, and you need decent goalkeepers for the training ground, but you need to have three. But he shouldn't be classed as a signing. It's not really a signing. That isn't. I know technically it is, but it's not really something that we're meant to take into consideration. It doesn't improve us, does it?
No. No. But it was only $1 million. So, perfect. Plus, Pereira could use the experience out of United.
I bet he's missing Fellaini, actually. This is about now that he'd love to be bringing him on and whacking some long balls.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see if Fellaini plays in that same midfield position when he comes on again, or if maybe he would do what Belgium did with him and put him up at that striker area. I think he'd be a lot more useful.
Well, there's the three. Mourinho with Kieran McKenna on one side and Michael Carrick on the other. That's the coaching setup. So you'd hope there's going to be some development. Hopefully, I expect it is going to take a bit of time, but
Yeah, I'm hopeful. Ian, they scored with a nice header. Beautiful cross. Bailly mismarked it.
yeah, it was a good header. It was a good goal. It was a good goal, to be fair. It were a good goal.
I don't know.
Well, they're changing their goalkeeper. There seems to be a reluctance from Jose to make many subs in this game. I've got to be honest. Doesn't seem to want to.
No, he just seems like he's going through the motions.
And the trouble is, whether you want people like Gomez or Greenwood or Roshan or Twansibi to get some game time, if they're not getting game time in this game, their chances of game time are going to become less and less the more players join up with the tour. We know Sanchez is coming.
Right.
We know that next week Lindelof, De Gea, Fred as well. So that's 4 more players coming in.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Fred, especially. But I do think if they don't take their chances when they are playing, what can you defend? I mean, Martial did not have a good performance first preseason game, but he does not get enough chances to really miss the ones that he takes. But again, first game, can't read too much into it.
No, you can't read too much into it. But what I would say is that, you know, it's still a game of football, and result doesn't matter at all. But what we would like to see is actually some chances created, and that, I think, you know, that is something that should be addressed, regardless of whether it's a pre-season game or not. We've actually created sod all this second half, and that is disappointing. You know, people do spend money to come and watch it.
Yeah, and I mean that's why. I think that's probably the biggest reason why a lot of these games in America are not going to be full, because the ticket prices are astronomical.
Really?
Yeah, they're more expensive to go see a preseason game that doesn't count than it is to go see games at Old Trafford. Like, to buy good tickets at MetLife Stadium was hundreds of dollars. Which seems crazy. Here you go.
Island Bowles says, I hope the youngsters get more than just pre-season football, but knowing Jose, I doubt it. Well, they're struggling to get pre-season football at the moment. I mean, he's just not using them, is he?
No. And cheapest ticket in an 80,000 seat arena was $115 for good seats, which is not cheap. That is true American greed. We are quite good at it. Yeah, it's crazy, Nick. $400, he says, for Real Madrid in Miami is the cheapest ticket. When they made those prices, I bet you they thought they'd have Ronaldo.
Yeah. Gomez is still on the bench, and I don't think he's going to make any changes here.
Yeah.
Which is really disappointing.
Yeah, but again, we've said it many times. If on the 26th of July we have a same game like this, we have a real problem. But
Greenwood's coming on. Yes, good. At least we're going to play a bloody forward. And it's Shaw coming off.
Yeah, but you know, the Earthquake and Club America are 2 teams that I'm considering true warm-up games. So, you know, they're not going to be super interesting.
It's a good cross by Pereira there. I don't know why we didn't manage to get anybody on it. Another corner for United. Of course, I'm thinking. I see. I've trained myself here, Jared, because I'm like, when England take corners in the World Cup, it's like, we might score here. Of course, Manchester United, we're back into that routine and may as well give them a goal kick.
It's coming home. $15 minutes left.
Chong is
Yeah,
good.
who
A
do you
lot
think
of
the
people in
best
the
player?
live comments are impressed with Chong. I mean, this is why I rank Chong as our number one. I know a lot of people like Gomez, but I think Chong is not better, but I think he's better placed to come through because he's a wide player, whereas Gomez is more central. And as you've seen with wide players over the years, whether it's people like Ryan Giggs or that, it's easier for a young player to come through when they're a wide player than it is as a more central player, unless you're somebody like a Rooney who's just an absolute, who's a man when they're a boy, so to speak. But no, I do like Chong, and I'd like to see him getting involved more. But I said it before the tour, and I'll stand by it. I don't see them getting any game time next season anyway, and I don't think they'll be loaned out either.
I know that's a tough one to stomach. Like, none of us really care about the Carabao Cup. Why shouldn't they be playing in that?
Well, Mourinho cares about it.
Of course, but no one else does.
Yeah, I don't want to win the Carabao Cup next year. That's no good for year 3. You've got to be doing better than that.
No, I don't want any excuses either. I don't want to end the year saying, "Well, we won a trophy." We won the under-18s.
Here we go. Oh, post on the back post there. It was Herrera. And we've got a goal. We've got a goal. Mata scores. It was a decent cross in from the right. And, well, at least we've got a bloody goal. Get in there. Come on. You'll probably see it back in a minute.
Yep, it's going.
Darmy was just interested to see who puts the cross in. It's Chong. It's a good cross by Chong. Herrera hits the post, it bounces back, they half clear it, and then Mata on his right foot. Keeper should do a lot better. It's a little bit scrappy, but we'll take scrappy. Scrappy will do fine. 1-1.
Oh, yeah, it was also nice to see how Chong ran for that ball.
Yeah.
That was a terrible, terrible error by the keeper, but still, Chong created that play, which was nice.
And that's what you want to see. You want to see the, all right, it wasn't George Best. He didn't run past 4 or 5 players to do it, but it gives some momentum and some. Oh, Chong put that cross in. Did really, really well.
Yeah.
And as I said before, for people like Chong and Greenwood who are on this pitch, this will be the biggest game of their lives, playing against a decent Mexican team who men as well. It's a big game for them.
Yeah, and again, you're on a national stage. Do something with it.
Good play there from, I think it was Pereira with the shot.
It's the Chong show. Yeah, I mean, it's...
Oh, no, it was Greenwood, sorry.
There we go.
So much youth, so much exciting talent now. I'm thinking, oh, that could only be Pereira doing that, but it was... It was not. Chong looks confident, says Tornado. Is Chong 2-footed, says Nigel Mars. Yeah, pretty much. What a cross by Chong, says Anthony Martial. Chong gives us something on the right, says Major Gamer. Good play by Fozu. Oh. Well, there's certainly been a change.
Working what? MUTV. Ashraf. I want Gomez. Me too, Bradley.
Yeah. I don't know whether we'll see him.
No. Sam Baki, that would be a nightmare. He says, I think Didier Deschamps would be a good replacement for Jose.
No. God, no.
He wouldn't.
We've got a free kick here anyway. I think it looks a little bit harsh on...
Michael King, he had a knee injury, I believe, and then just left. You know, Mark, you never asked where. Did you ask where people were watching from?
I did it before the game, yeah. But yeah, let us know in the live comments. The score is 1-1. It should say 1-1. It does say 1-1.
It does.
Chong is Dutch. Kevin?
Yeah.
Like Fosu. Remember to subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We're doing watch alongs for every game and we're live every night at 8 o'clock. Lots going on the United stand. And you're all very, very welcome. Skype shows as well. Yeah, I've seen a few people saying Chong's good on the right. He doesn't solve our problem on the right. He's not ready yet. Nowhere near ready yet. But he needs to be. He's ready to start getting integrated into the team. That's what needs to happen. But he's not ready to be utilised fully. So the second half's whizzed by. We've only got about 10 minutes left.
I think it was nice to see Chong play.
Yeah, I still would have liked to see Gomez get on, but wasn't to be.
Chong needs to bulk up to play regular for United. Yeah, but he's young, so he'll bulk up over time anyway. Look at Lingard. I mean, he's gotten bigger.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's... I can't remember how old Chong is. I think he's 19 now. I think he was... so... He needs... That's what I mean. He's not super, super young. He's still very young, but he's not super young. He needs to start... You know, especially being a winger, you know, it's not unusual for 18, 19-year-olds to be playing first team football.
18. 18. Turns 19 in December.
That's it. You see. So this season's big for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's interesting enough that he should be playing. And it's Jose's job to take a player like that and get the most out of him. And you're not going to get the most out of them or grow them if they're sitting on the bench. This game shows we need another striker. I mean, Lukaku's not playing, so it doesn't really show a ton.
A lot of people talk about a backup striker, though, to be fair. And
yeah, I mean, I honestly think that that's where Fellaini should be playing. So I don't mind Fellaini being in that role as just a hoofball magnet for the last 15 minutes of the game.
Well, you know,
and then
pre-season game or not, I don't think anybody would doubt the fact that Fellaini would have been used in this game.
Yeah.
McTominay seems to have hurt his head a bit here.
Surprising the player's tall enough to even hit McTominay's head. Who scored? Mata and someone on Club America. It was a nice ball, though. Yeah, Turner, that's not happening. We're never getting rid of Lingard at this point. And I think he signed for 4 more years on a $100,000 a week contract, so he may get re-signed in the middle of this year for more money. Who knows? Yeah, Rashford, you don't need a backup.
Twansibi's coming on.
Just in case anyone didn't know, Twanzebe holds the world record for the fastest game of Hungry Hungry Hippos. If you needed a useless statistic.
Now we've got one.
Yeah.
I think Mourinho would be more than happy to take a 1-1 out of this.
Yeah. I think he'd like to see a goal, but I think...
Angel Gomez is on as well. For what? 4 minutes?
All right. Better than no minutes.
Yeah, but...
Chance of Martel getting a few games up front the beginning of the season. I've seen things like that. Right, Phil? I saw it on Twitter. I was like, I can't believe this is a statistic that he plays Hungry Hungry Hippos. But it was hilarious.
Talking of Twitter, tell them what your Twitter feed is, Jared, because you messaged me about that.
Stayed with us the whole time. For the ones who woke up at 5 a.m., great. Yeah, and Mike, on a side note, I absolutely would have loved to see Gomez play a whole half, but I'm hoping that he grows into the preseason and plays more. But I would have been more annoyed if he didn't play at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's see, for me, this is massively interesting, and it's I'll watch it again tomorrow when I'm having my lunch and on Fast Play and just dissect. I'm looking at more at the tactical side of things, how we've done what we've done with the ball. Is there any improvement under Carrick and McKenna yet that to write home about? So those sort of things are really important to me. But I love the tour, so thanks everyone who's joined us for it, and I'm going to do my match reaction. I've taken a few notes after this, but I don't agree with the negativity. It's way too early, but I do agree with some of the points that have been made that could be perceived to be negative. I mean, Jose, I'm sure there will be a match reaction. Of course there will. Sorry, I'll do a match reaction. There'll be a press conference with Jose afterwards. I mean, unless he says something about transfers, it's just I can pretty much predict what will be said. It will be, he's already said it yesterday, so we can't be shocked. It'll be along the lines of, well, I haven't got much to work with. What do people expect?
I miss Fellaini.
He ain't gonna. There's not going to be any surprises there from Jose, so to speak. But there's certainly a lot I've learned, which I'll mention in the live comments. But let's just say as well, there's not going to be a transfer daily at 7 a.m. because that's like literally 2 hours time, and I'm going to go and get some sleep after this. So I'll be doing it.
We talked some transfers, so this is also transfer.
Yeah, we have spoke a bit about it, haven't we? But no, there'll be a midday show where I'll get up and have a look what's going on, and we'll go live at midday. But normally it's at 7 a.m. It's just because of this game that I've decided to do it live at lunchtime, which is a nice change. Then obviously 8 o'clock tomorrow night as usual.
Yeah. But it's been honestly, it's been a quick second half. I agree.
I'm just glad we got the goal, really, because
I didn't want to lose this game. It would have been a bad start. Also, what a pathetic extra time indicator. Looks like a piece of paper with a 2 on it. So don't worry, we'll charge you $250 a ticket, but we won't put it towards that.
How many minutes did they add on?
2.
I was going to say, I predicted 1-1 on my match reaction thing 10 minutes ago. Some games you can just tell, unless Club America will go and score now. No, they won't.
Or Chong. Yeah, but this is fun, and I think it's nice that everyone's getting up. You guys can see how Americans have to do it during the season.
I'll be blown up any minute. For anybody who wants to get my match reaction, I will be live There's an eye in the top right hand corner which will take you straight through to the live stream, or you can go through the link in the video description. Just going to do a 10-minute match reaction for those people who didn't see the game, for when they wake up in the morning, and you can join in and have your live comments with it as well. So thanks for joining us, Jared. I know you're going to join us for a few of these over the next couple of weeks, so good to have you. Excellent.
It was a pleasure, and good start to the preseason. So,
yes, we didn't lose, which is the main thing. And
we didn't lose.
I shall speak to you soon, pal.
Thanks, buddy. Have a nice day.
You too, mate.
See ya.
Thanks, mate.
See ya.
And thanks to everybody in the live comments as well. Really, really enjoyed that. I'm going to pop over and do my match reaction now while I still feel a bit fresh, and it's all fresh in my mind. But it finishes 1-1 to 1-1, which, to be honest with you, I think Club America are a good team, so it's not a terrible result for Manchester United. But I'll be over there in a moment. A link is in the video description, the first line of it, or you can click the eye in the top right-hand corner, or you can just go to the United Stand homepage and you'll see the match reaction there. The live comments are open, and I'll be live with you in about 60 seconds time. Please subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in a minute.